Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love. I hope that this video finds you well wherever you may be today. So before we get started, I want to settle into this space and you settle into yours, and let's just all take a collective deep breath. So, welcome back to the Mystical's Corner, where this space is created to empower you to rise in your power, reclaim your voice, and walk as your most authentic self. I am Keela. I am a girl who just loves all things spirituality and philosophy. Okay, and so today I got my notes. All right, they're handwritten, and my handwriting not the best. It's not the best. It's not the best. So today's topic, I'm just kind of shifting the energy because I just feel like we can be in a space of just constant healing and constant growth and constantly trying to get somewhere. You hear me? And so today's topic is just, it's going to be about celebrating yourself. And my intention for today's video is to empower you to take a pause, to celebrate yourself by just being in the moment, experiencing your present self, and taking a step back to really see where you have come from and honor who you are today and where you are right now in this present moment, in this season, so that you can get to a point of creating beautiful karma for your future. All right. And so, with that, I got the topic because I'm shifting, sis. All right. I am shifting into a season of just celebration. And I'm making it all about me. And as women, we can definitely operate our life that doesn't, I would say, that doesn't have us in the front. We are leaders, but sometimes we lead from the back, trying to push everybody forward. But I want you to get into a space of leading from the front. All right. And that means prioritizing yourself, your needs, what you want, and how you want to feel. And so, in order for us to get to a space of leading from the front, we must take a pause, right? We must take a pause to just be right where we are, be where your feet is on the ground, and take a moment to reflect where you've come from, the things that you've overcome, and the prizes and the gifts that you have in real time today. Take a pause, a moment to reflect, a moment to rest, and a moment to empower your spirit to adjust where you are creating your life from. We can't create our life from the back trying to be seen. Okay? I know that you have tasks, you have a career, you have responsibilities, but there is an echelon to how we do things, and we have to do it with the care and nurture for self first, because oftentimes we can show up in our pain. Oftentimes we can show up in our triggers. We can show up as a victim, and you don't want to lead your life from that space, because the energy that you're using to create your path or to create your future is being used with energy that does not serve you well. Okay. And so I did take some notes because I like to go off on tangents. All right. And so one of the things that I did put down, oftentimes we are reluctant to pause. We are reluctant to pause. Okay. And take note of how far we've come. To practice gratitude for what is. I said gratitude. When was the last time you announced your gratitude for what is, for what you have, for what you have created? Gratitude is a spiritual practice. It's not just no basic, I'm grateful for this and I'm great. It is a spiritual practice. It is understanding that everything happens for a reason, and everything, despite how it makes you feel, is for your good. And if you don't feel like that, I want to invite you that while you're in your pause to go over some of those things that does not serve you well that you've experienced and see if you can extract the wisdom from that. And it's not something that is simple to do. It is sitting with hard feelings. It is sitting with things that offended you. It is sitting with people that you may need to forgive. It is sitting with what you may need to forgive yourself for. Because, like I said, everything happens for a reason. All right. And I truly, truly believe that. And that's why I say I am a girl who loves philosophy because I am a student to my life. I'm uncovering and recovering and releasing and accepting and acknowledging and calling my energy back to myself. So, what does that look like for you? How do you feel about gratitude and being grateful for where you are? If you're not in that space, that is perfectly fine. But let's figure out why. Become curious about your why and where you are so that we can change the narratives of our feelings and bring more joy in and bring more peace and acceptance and love in, because a lot of times it's us having to release ourselves from the offense that keeps us from being a victim. You know, when you get to lay that down, it's like, well, what now? You don't have to be a victim. You don't have to be empowered by being a victim. You be empowered by overcoming and releasing and seeing what's over there on the other side of that releasing. Okay. Another block of notes that I written down was, as we bask in this moment, take some time to practice what you want, where you want to be in life, and how you want to feel. Ladies, we all know what we don't want, right? We know what we don't want to experience. We know that we don't want this kind of relationship. We know we don't want our kids to go to this school or to eat this food. We know what type of job we don't want. But in order to recreate the foundation and create new karma, great karma for yourself, is to think about what it is that you want in life. How do you want to feel? Who do you want to become? And that's what this pause is to shift you out of what was into what is. You have to get to a place of creating from the energy that is light. Okay. Now we can all, now it's something to do with our energy, the energy of anger, the energy of sadness. Yes, those are like, okay, those aren't bad energies. Those are necessary energies to catapult us into what our body is telling us we need and what we need to do. So get into a habit of visualizing, writing, manifesting what it is you want in life, because the universe, the most high source, spirit will only give you who you are. It will give you who you are, the energy that you're operating from. So a lot of times when we're manifesting and when we're praying and contemplating for something to come forth or for us to attract something, it will come, but it will come at the frequency that you are in. So let's focus on, if we're in a bad space and if we're feeling like we're in, I would say, a low space, or if we're challenged with issues, pause, work with those energies, transmute those energies into something that is beautiful for you, that you can create this, like the slate to begin. Okay. to pivot, to shift into what is for you, what you desire. You are the creator of your reality, and you have to know that no one is going to come and give you the things that you want. You attract the things that you want. You become the version of yourself who knows, who demands, who commands those things, but it's an energetic thing. Okay. And then um another point that I had was also to, and I already said this, create new karma for yourself. Oftentimes we sit too long in our pain. Okay. And it can dim your light, because when you're sitting too long in your pain and you're operating from your pain, you may put yourself in positions to where you are subconsciously projecting your pain onto others. And what you put out into the world, you will receive abundantly. And so, in the privacy of your own space, your own energy, your own body, work on your energy. Become the version of yourself that you want to be. And if you haven't thought of that, this is your time now, in your pause, to recreate, to manifest. And I would tell anybody, don't manifest things, manifest who you want to be, who you want to become, operating as your authentic self from a place of just boldness, courage, and freedom. So if it's a car that you want, if it's financial stability that you want, if it's the home that you want, if it's the career that you want, you must manifest it here so that it can be done with ease, so that it's effortless, that you are already in the position to receive it. And then you will be in a position to notice it when it arrives. Okay? So that's how you shift and pivot into the new. You have to make space for the you. All right, you heard that? Bars. So the last point that I wanted to make is give yourself the necessary time and space to heal. Okay, we're going back to that pause, taking a step back. But don't sit there long. Okay? Give yourself the time that you need and release it when it's time. Okay? And if you want to know about what are some ways that we can do releasing ceremonies, or how do I really let this thing go? I'm struggling with like allowing myself to like forgive. Get in the comments and we can most definitely have other conversations about it, or I can make another video about releasing, or what does it actually really take to forgive for real. Okay, because that's a real thing. Most people say, I forgive you, and you haven't processed nothing. Forgiveness is a process. Okay. But find resolve in whatever you're challenged with, okay, so that you can move forward and experience the most joyous, pleasurable life possible. We get so busy working, we get so busy taking care of our responsibilities, and we don't make room for conscious fun. And I would say conscious fun because, and this is just for me, fun is not me going out and getting drunk. That doesn't feel well for me. But conscious fun is actually doing something that you enjoy doing and that you can be present for. Okay. And it could be anything. It could be drawing, it can be dancing, singing. But what is fun for you? Because I even had to discover that in myself. And I was like, man, I don't even remember what is fun for me. But then my husband and I, we go on these walks every evening, and just having that conversation, I'm like, man, I do love to sing. I do love to dance. I play around a lot like that, but I can be more intentional because it does make me happy. You know what I mean? And it does bring me joy. It does shift my mood. And that is my go-to when I'm in a mood. Okay, music. Um, so to just land the plane, ladies, we get into the habit of celebrating ourselves, leading from the front, because you are a powerful being. You can create the things you want in life, but sometimes things happen to us for us to take a step back, to analyze our closet, analyze our challenges, analyze our environment and what's not working for us in our environment, and shifting based on that. Put yourself in the spaces that allows you to grow. Okay? Because one thing you cannot do, or it does not serve you well, I won't tell you what you can and can't do, but it won't serve you well that if you're in this space in your home and you create this beautiful energy at home, but you keep going into an energy field or an environment that does not align with your best self, you're harming yourself and you are putting yourself at risk to behave in a certain way, to react in a certain way. So be mindful of the environments that you keep. Be mindful of the things that you intake into your system. Social media, the music, the movies. Put yourself in spaces that makes you feel well. You deserve that. And you only have power over that. You only have power over that. So celebrate your life, celebrate your essence, celebrate your authentic self, celebrate who you are. Whatever you think your flaws may be, celebrate yourself and love yourself and put yourself here, because who you are up here flows into your environment and it just makes everything holistically well. You can do that for yourself. You don't have to wait for somebody to change the temperature out there. You change your temperature. Everything else will adjust. Everything else will adjust. What do you want for yourself? Because right now, today, you can make the intentional choice to choose to decide to create your new reality based on how you want to feel, who you want to become, what you want in life. Okay? Mm-hmm. You can't just continue to accept piss poor stuff anymore. Piss poor gifts, piss poor energy. Okay? Piss poor sex. Piss poor like love and friendship. You know what you want and you know how things make you feel. I don't want to start fussing at you. I'm passionate about our well-being as women because I know how it is and I know how it can be. But you don't have to operate from that space. Okay? I'm gonna finish up this portion of the video. Okay? So if that resonated with you and you love what I said and you felt like you got a little zhuzh, you feel a little bit empowered, like, comment, and subscribe and share with your friends. And yeah, let me know how you're going to move forward with celebrating yourself. I want to know the process. I want to know the intent. Okay, because when you put that in the comments, that is your commitment to yourself. It's down, it's stamped now. So what you gonna do? Okay. So until next time, peace. I love you.